Area 8, let's keep moving. We're slowly approaching the highest points of this place. There's a few interesting Pokemon on this guy's team, but a lot of them are weak to fighting, so we'll see how that goes. So yeah, as you can see here, both of them are weak to fighting. One of them is a nose pass though, so even though I have Dan Green here on the field, I'm not really sure if it's that big a threat. I mean, it's got a base 40 attack stat. Actually, that's a really bad ability for Porygon 2 to have. But let's see. Oh, I can just Iron Tail it. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be that big of a threat if it doesn't go down in one hit. I mean, the worst it can probably do is Thunder Wave. Oh, I get the feeling that was a damage range. That definitely wasn't a damage range. And if that thing had an Eviolite, that'd be a different story, but still. And that's another reason why I brought Dan Green to this fight, because you'd be weak to that. And there's Intimidate, which is actually pretty bad for keeping Zap Cannon, which missed entirely. Yeah, that tends to do that, only 50% accuracy. Nose Pass using Zap Cannon is kind of interesting. So there was an episode of the anime where in the Japanese version they said Nose Pass was using Hyper Beam. Apparently Nose Pass can't actually learn Hyper Beam, which is weird because normally Pokemon that were fully evolved at some point can learn Hyper Beam, and Nose Pass was fully evolved in Gen 3. But apparently it can't, so that was a move error. And what's interesting was the dub actually changed, they changed any references to Hyper Beam in that episode to references to Zap Cannon. And apparently, because the way that it's animated in the anime, it looks like it's electric-based, so maybe it was always intended to be Zap Cannon all along, and they just messed it up. It was really only after Pokemon, like the Pokemon Company took over dubbing, they started to do things like that, actually correcting move errors in the original. Sorry, her name is actually Japanese onomatopoeia for coughing, so, I had to do that. But yes, gohon is, yeah, onomatopoeia for coughing in Japanese. Which is kind of funny when it's written out like that, but yeah, I don't think she was called that in Japanese. Almost all the trainers here have different names in the Japanese version, and the funny part is they're all equally as incomprehensible and weird as the English names. Usually. Anyway, once again, Dan Green beats another Dan Green roll. Just found out recently that Dan Green was also the Iron Mask Marauder in the 4th Pokemon movie. Which is actually kind of closely related to Pokemon Colosseum, because it may have been the inspiration for Shadow Pokemon. Yes, I'll talk about that in more detail in XD, and I'm glad I didn't go for Miracoat there. I had a feeling that because the previous Raichu didn't go for any electric moves on Suicune, this one might not either. That didn't do very much. I'll go for another Surf, but there's a chance I'll be fully paralyzed, so... that risks Static, that also risks Static. Let's just go for that. And I missed. Reversal? It's a weird move to see Raichu using, and it's going to be doing pretty much nothing, yeah, because, as I've said before, Reversal has terrible power unless you're at exactly 1 HP. So, not exactly a move that I'd expect to see from Raichu, although I'm pretty sure it does learn it naturally, or is it an egg move, I forget, but I know that it does get Reversal. And there goes Donphan. Another Pokemon that I don't know, I might kind of like to use someday. Wait a minute. You didn't use any double teams. I don't have any accuracy reductions. You have Bright Powder, don't you? Well, that's the first obvious use of Bright Powder we've seen. That was probably why Fire Blast missed now I think about it. But yeah, first obvious Bright Powder we've seen so far. That will probably come more into play later. Or Lax Incense. The annoying thing is that to get around Item Claws... Maybe I should have gone for Miracoat now. Crit, wow. Yeah, I have a feeling that I would have survived a non-crit, but anyway. Just go for the speedy one, see if I can take out that Raichu. Although it could easily just Bright Powder hacks me again. That Wigglytuff is not a threat at all. rollout takes like 4 turns before it gets any semblance of good power. Oh yeah, Citrus Berry is a fixed 30 HP heal in this gen. It's not a percentage like it is in later ones. So yeah, just bear that in mind. For a Pokemon with as much HP as Wigglytuff, Citrus Berry is not a very good item option in this generation. But I guess I didn't get Bright Powder there. But to get around Item Claws, you'll often see AI trainers in this gen have both Lax Incense and Bright Powder, which are essentially the same item, but they're separate items, so they get around Item Claws. I was mashing A bit at the end of that battle. Funny thing is that when I'm editing these, sometimes I notice that my A mashing picks up on the microphone. This is kind of a weird team, but I think the league combination that I'm going with should be able to handle it decently well. Another Wobbuffet. Need to remember that I can't switch out now, but I probably won't need to. Okay, so that Harry Armor is almost certainly going to go down to I'm going to go for Shadow Ball on that. It's probably going to go down to Surf. Or you could use Fake Out. That was exactly who I didn't want near to hit. Because that's kind of a waste of Shadow Ball, because the Harry Armor is going to faint to 1 Psychic anyway, almost certainly. It's like AI Wobbuffets only ever use Counter and Mirror Coat, even though they do have more moves than that. Because this guy has things like Tentacruel and Melodic, other things. A few things he has resist fighting, so that's why I'm not going for High Jump Kick. I don't think he has anything that's weak to Shadow Ball in the wings. Okay, Tentacruel. If only Psycho Cut existed in this gen, but it does not. Well, I mean, it would be special anyway, so it wouldn't really help Metachan that much. That's only half, though. I guess I will do the same thing. This music is still great, but I've already said that like a lot this playthrough, so I should probably avoid doing that. But I mean, I guess I do have stuff to talk about in these fights. Okay, there's Melodic. So I probably would want a High Jump Kick, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, considering that I missed twice in the last area, probably shouldn't be risking that. Okay, so now, let's see what I do now. I am going to... Maybe I should have just gone for a Helping Hand and Shadow Ball. That might have won a KO. And that didn't KO you, so that's possibly dangerous. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, Helping Hand, it definitely would have KO'd. Don't use Counter, please. Oh! Oh, that is bad. I think I know the thing of your team now. Counter and Mirror Code. Because I think everything you're using can learn one of those 2 moves. Because Tentacruel gets Mirror Code, Harry Armor gets Counter. Well, at least you used the wrong one there. Seems like a lot of things here have Citrus Berries. But, right, let's just finish you off and let's just Feint Attack you. Oh no. Well, I wasn't going to get a perfect win anyway, but if I was on track for a perfect win, that would have been annoyingly spiteful. Yeah, I had a feeling the AI would only use Destiny Bond when they're on very low health. They're probably programmed specifically to do that. Counter Mirror Coat Safeguard Destiny Bond are the only moves that Wobbuffet can, yeah, that happened. Doesn't have a unique animation for it in this game, though, unfortunately. Has some pretty cool animations in some of the handheld games. But yeah, Counter Mirror Coat Safeguard Destiny Bond, Wobbuffet's normal moveset. Encore and Tiggle will only have if it learned them as a Wynaut. This team is kind of interesting. The teams are getting a little bit better here. So Puros is kind of a strange name. Gardevoir and Breloom. Okay, that's actually good for my lead combination. Was worried you'd leave this something that this combination would not be able to handle that well, namely Wheezing. because this guy does have wheezing. Yeah, I guess I should, if I don't have much to talk about here, I could mention Destiny Bond. Destiny Bond is another one of those attacks that debuted in the trading card game. It was on a Ghastly that, it's weird, like, apparently that base set Ghastly is considered one of the worst cards in all of Pokemon, like the entire card game. Because it can't do any direct damage, I think it just has Hypnosis and Destiny Bond, and Destiny Bond is very easy to work around via switching, and I think it requires a lot of energy anyway. But yeah, the way Destiny Bond worked in the card game was essentially the same way that it works in the games. If something KOs you, they also faint. I think the wording was a little bit different back in the first generation, but this isn't going to be super effective, but we'll see how it goes. I remember the wording was like, if a Pokemon knocks out Ghastly during your opponent's next turn, knock out that Pokemon. You took that much better than I thought you would. But Shuckle is a very passive Pokemon. Let's see what it ends up doing. Wrap. I kind of expected something like that. Wrap is actually not that terrible of a move on Shuckle, although in later gens Infestation is better. But here, Wrap is one of the better trapping moves that it has. Trapping something in and then just using Toxic and just trying to stall them, really one of the better things Shuckle can do. Okay, that first one was Reindeer. I was thinking for a second that you'd violated Item Clause. If Item Clause even exists in, You are weak to Iron Tail, aren't you? Should be. I'm pretty sure Item Clause is in Mount Battle. But yeah, I have learned my lesson. I don't think you're resistant to fighting anymore. Goodbye, Ludicolo. And you're just going to keep using that. If Wrap still worked based on its Gen 1 rules, Shuckle would be pretty much the worst Wrap user ever. Because you need to be faster than them in order to make the best use of Wrap. Now we're seeing the interesting thing where if two Pokemon are Wrapped at the same time, the one that's faster is the one that gets hurt first. Okay, now can I actually hit with Iron Tail, please? No! I know you don't have Bright Powder because you have leftovers, obviously. But you went down anyway. Well, I guess we got to see a Shuckle kind of tanking. There will not be a next time. On to 75, which would make us 3/4 of the way through Mount Battle. Oh, I haven't seen a chaser like you in a while. This guy is Chaser Krygon, and let's hope this battle is ultra awesome. But it probably won't be because you have mostly fire types and or other things weak to water, and I have a water type, so this is gonna go pretty quickly, maybe. That Camerupt is probably gonna get one-shot at the Typhlosion, I don't know, but if I target it with Kick Face as well, yeah, let's just go for Surf, and I could go for Ultimate Trolling and go for Rain Dance, but I don't think I really need it here. Unless the Typhlosion goes for Sunny Day immediately. Are you gonna go for Sunny Day immediate? No, I was faster than the Typhlosion for some reason. Yeah, so that's the thing, like, it is a little inconsistent just how much EVs the Pokemon have in speed here. Like, if that Typhlosion was EV trained at all, it has 100 base speed. It really should have outsped Suicune, but, it didn't, so I'm glad for that, because otherwise it might have gone for Sunny Day. Yeah, this guy does remind me of that trainer with the Hidden Power Fire Mischievous, but he doesn't have any Flash Fire Pokemon. Alright, that's not so good for Suicune there. I don't know. Okay, you know what? Just in case I'm going to go for that, I'm going to go for Shadow Ball and Mischievous, because otherwise I'm pretty sure it's going to be aiming a Shadow Ball at Kick Face. And Mischievous' Shadow Balls hit a lot harder than I thought they would, despite Mischievous not having the best attack stat in the world. I guess an 80 base power move is just that. And of course you wouldn't go for an offensive move. It does seem like sometimes the AI thinks that type advantages apply to non-attacking moves though, because it does tend to target water types a lot with with Thunder Wave. Okay, there's another miss. It's almost approaching how it works in later gens. Okay, I would very much like to not be fully paralyzed here, because this is going to really destroy you. Thank you! Yeah, Suicune has enough HP to really make good use of Mirror Coat. It's kind of an underrated option on a lot of Pokemon. I like Mirror Coat a lot, but it does require good prediction. And there are a lot of Pokemon that learn Mirror Coat as an unexpected option. Like, for example, Swampert gets access to Mirror Coat. Blastoise gets it. So there are some semi-decent Pokemon here, and then there's also a Chimecho. Zelmo? Zelmo, really? The obscure cousin of Elmo. Reminds me of this weird thing that in, yeah, back when I was first in high school, we sort of had like a taster of just about every single elective. So back in my first year, we all had to do drama, and in one of our drama things, we did like puppet shows, and they had this puppet that kind of looked like a Muppet, but was obviously like a knockoff Muppet, and one of my groups was doing a show with it, and was, well, it wasn't so much funny as it was just really random. They just had this guy suddenly appear, say, Felmo like eggs, and then shoot someone. Completely out of nowhere, and was not explained at all, but, yeah. Early drama classes, everyone. So, let's forget entirely about that, and, Leaf Blade. Rare footage, oh, that didn't KO me, okay. Rare footage of actually special Leaf Blade. It was kind of funny how it got a power buff in, later generations, but it changed to physical, so Sceptile couldn't really use it that well anymore. This battle is going a bit better than I thought it would, although I shouldn't speak too soon. What's that Claydol gonna do? Well, it's gonna have lowered special defense, which doesn't help Shadow Ball at all. Yeah, this battle's going better than I hoped it would. The Claydol is pretty much gone. It's definitely going down to my next Shadow Ball. Let's return, and let's just go for Shadow Ball. Yeah, I don't know why my drama class had this weird knockoff Muppet, but it did. I'm sorry, any name that sounds like Elmo is impossible to take seriously. Okay, so on to Battle 77. And it's a worker. And the worker was imitating my catching countdown. And what I would do to start these episodes when I was doing post-commentary. The catching countdown was also mainly to aid the syncing of post-commentary. Yeah, I have new respect for people who, because the way that I record my videos, I record both the commentary and the video audio in the same file. So that is bad, because it means that I can't cut out any part of my commentary without also cutting the audio from the video. But that's kind of a bit of a mouthful. But it also means that I don't have to worry about manually syncing up the audio track to the video track, which I will say, having to do the post-commentary on Colosseum and then sync up the audio in the editor, I never want to have to do that again. That was surprisingly frustrating. It was a lot more frustrating than I ever thought it would be. And I have a lot of respect for people who actually sync audio that way now. Uh-oh. I should have realized every water type in this game, assuming that it has Ice Beam. Always do that. Stop being dumb, me. Barrier. Reminds me of when I was, first playing Pokemon Red and Blue, like, well, the equivalent of elementary school, and people would go around, well, at least one person would go around going, I use Barrier, I'm invincible. And then I'd just say, Barrier only makes your defense greatly rise. Of course, back when I was that young, I didn't know what stat buffs meant. I actually thought that every stat-raising move was useless. Like, whenever it said, like, so-and-so's attack rose or defense rose, I thought that did nothing when I was a kid. I don't know why, but for some reason, I thought that stat buffs did nothing at all. Like, it makes sense for someone that young to never use those kind of mechanics, but to actually think they did nothing, yeah, my child self was weird. Although, also, the message, like, critical hit, so it didn't say a critical hit back then, it just said critical hits, and I always thought it was just the game's way of telling you the attack hits. I thought that critical was another word for attack, so the critical hits, as in the attack hits. But, like, then I realized that it didn't always appear, like, the message critical hit didn't always show up, so I thought maybe there's something else going on, and then someone told me, no, critical hit means it hit their weak spot, and I was like, oh, okay, then I kind of understood that a bit better, even though I didn't quite understand the exact mechanics behind critical hits. And there was someone at my school when I was a kid who pronounced, because for some reason, the official Pokemon handbook, which is hilariously bad nowadays, because it made a lot of mistakes, but anyway, it referred to moves as techniques, but for some reason, one of my friends when I was a kid used to pronounce that Technique, and I always thought that sounded cooler, but, so I was saying Technique all the time until my parents told me that, no, it's actually Technique, and I was like, oh, that doesn't sound as cool. Yeah, these are getting a little bit longer. So I feel like I'm, going through this faster than the last one. This guy's name is Crace. Or Crazy. I don't know, but it is a weird name. It's one of those names that's almost like a real name, but not quite. That's not exactly the best combination for this lead that I'm using, but, oh well. I'll make it work somehow. Okay, yeah, Noctowl has very bad defense. I know that because I made the bio, so... Well, actually, no, its HP is the bad part. I think it's got 50 base HP. But I think its defense is... Oh, actually, it's got 50 base attack, doesn't it? Already forgetting base stats. No, it's got good HP, actually. Somewhat decent HP. I know that has 100 base special defense, I think. Anyway, I didn't use Noctowl in this playthrough, so I'm not too familiar with its stats. Well, at least something came in that's going to be taking damage from this Earthquake, so that's good. Taking a lot of damage, too. I always thought the pattern that Earthquake makes in the ground here kind of looked like a tortoiseshell. That was definitely a Quick Claw. There's no way that wasn't a Quick Claw. Yeah, if you see something that didn't outspeed you before, suddenly outspeed you and not use a priority move, it was probably Quick Claw. That's actually kind of funny because, reminds me of, like, the one Pokemon in most of Mariland's playthroughs that ever had actual success with the Quick Claw was a Quagsire. I still think he should have tossed the Quick Claw while he was on Mount Chimney and said that he was throwing it into the fires of Mount Chimney to dispose of it once and for all. That would have been pretty fitting. For those of you who don't know, the Quick Claw is kind of like a cursed item in his Nuzlocke. Almost everything that holds the Quick Claw dies. And that's no exaggeration. Personally though, Quick Claw's a curse for me for the entirely opposite reason. I once had a Quick Claw activate on me 5 times in a row in the Battle Frontier. I did save a battle video of that too, but it's long since, well, doesn't really work anymore. Anyway, 79. I think I'll leave with Suicune and Kickface for this. There's some pretty good Pokemon in this team. We've got Alakazam, we've got Heracross, Aggron's alright, there's a Flygon here too. So, I would say this should hopefully be kind of interesting, but... I mean, I'm going to be one-shotting that Aggron almost certainly, because it doesn't have the benefit of Sturdy in this generation, and that Heracross, kind of worried that it will... I mean, it probably won't one-shot Kickface. Also, please don't miss this high jump kick. No! Ah! Oh, wow, that did a lot less from that miss than I thought it would, but then again, Aggron has enormous physical defense, so I suppose that makes sense. It kind of cancels out the, And Heracross has good special defense. But yeah, it kind of cancels out the... Oh, you have Mega Horn, I was afraid of that. But you didn't go for the one that I was afraid that you'd go for. Iron Tail. Oh, that's probably going for Kickface, isn't it? No! Why did you do that? If you got a defense drop, I would have thought that, oh, it's because you're cheating with your AI and know that you're going to get a defense drop, but that wasn't the case. Let's see if I can put you into Surf Hair around the Shadow Ball. Not sure if this will work, though. That's probably not Surf KO range. But we'll find out. I'm about to summon it. The wave, I mean. And very... Oh, it was barely not Surf KO range. So all I can say now is please don't Mega Horn Kick Face. Please. Though you probably will anyway. Well, it's a Mega Horn. And it was into... Yeah, I thought so. Only just noticed that Kick Face has swirly eyes when he faints. Guess using better quality cables helped me notice that. Couldn't really see that before. Yeah, Colosseum actually looked pretty dodgy on my TV before I got these component cables. Random thing... of course, unnecessary critical. The random thing that I want to say is that... Is it just me or does... Like, the term composite cables, to me, sounds like they'd be better quality than component cables, but no, it's component that's actually the better one. Well, you're fast, as fast as I'd expect from you, I guess. But anyone else feeling like that? Like, just composite sounds like it'd be more of an elaborate word than component, so I'd think that composite was the higher quality, but it's not. And you're probably faster than, you might be faster than Suicune, not faster than Solo, especially since Solo's hasty, and it doesn't matter because you fainted anyway. Also, Dodrio's fainting animation is kind of silly. Jorna. I thought that was like Jonifer at first. Does seem like I'm getting through this area faster than I got through Area 6, so that's... Area 7, I mean. Uh-oh. So firstly, I will like say Mortak is actually a really cool name. But secondly, I want to say, I think I know what this guy's team theme is. I'm guessing the theme of this is Destiny Bond and Grudge. Because most of the Pokemon that he's using here, he's got a Dusclops, he has a Ninetales, a lot of them can learn Grudge or Destiny Bond, so... I'm actually very, very worried here, because Destiny Bond is priority, isn't it? I suppose I'll take out Misdreavus first. I mean, Reflect won't help, but... Well, it looks like neither of you use Destiny Bond. Yeah, take out the Misdreavus because it's more likely to do something like Shadow Ball me or something like that. I said something twice, that's a little bit redundant, but oh well. And Misdreavus' fainting animation is still kind of disturbing. XD cuts it off though, if I'm remembering right. Oh, okay. So, that animation only goes off if it successfully sealed something, so... I'm gonna go... I really hope that that didn't seal Shadow Ball. No, it didn't, okay. But it almost certainly sealed Psychic, let's see. Yep, Psychic is sealed, let's see if Protect is sealed. Protect is also sealed, okay then. I had a feeling it would be. I will just go for... Reflects? That was definitely a Quick Claw. Yeah, you could probably expect me to be saying that a lot, but I know that was a Quick Claw. There is no way that wasn't a Quick Claw. Because I don't think a Muck outspeeding an Espeon naturally is even physically possible. Even with a Choice Scarf, would have a hard time doing that. Like, I mean, assuming equal level, like, even a 0 IV minus Nature Espeon, I don't think it's physically possible for a Muck to outspeed it without any kind of boost. Alright, let's see. Okay, I want to do that, and I... Now that Gardevoir is off the field, am I no longer sealed? Yes, I'm no longer sealed. Good. So I can now do that, and no more Quick Clawing for you. I suppose this battle was at least kind of interesting. And Dusclops is kind of bulky, you might survive this. Let's see. You did. Okay, what are you going to be doing with that? You're going to Destiny Bond next turn, aren't you? Oh, actually, I think everything on this guy's team can learn Imprison as well, so that's probably what your real theme is. Can't guess wrong for that. And you've got leftovers. Maybe you are EV trained in defenses? I'm not sure. Okay, I think Protect is probably imprisoned. No, it's not! Okay, that was useless, but I just wanted to test whether or not Protect was imprisoned. Kinda surprised you don't have Shadow Ball. to imprison that. But anyway, you're gone. Woo! That is still the sound that I hear in my head whenever I see Dusclops fainting. Well, that was kind of interesting, I guess. So it's time to claim our rewards. Let's see if the Poke Coupons keep doubling or not. You do get a lot out of this. Only a little bit more than last time, but still, over 5,000 now. I think you end up with a bit over 10,000 at the end of this. But yeah, that is Area 8. We'll see you next time for Area 9. We're getting closer to the end.